Welcome to Understanding Academic Probation. If you are watching this video, it is because you are on academic probation. While you may be feeling a little defeated, don't worry, you are not alone. This video is designed to help you discover your power by providing you with the tools to gain insight, understanding, and direction. So relax and stay focused and get empowered. Let's go. Academic probation is a warning that your performance has fallen below the institution's requirement for good academic standing. Academic standing is measured by your GPA or grade point average and is also determined by academic progress. Now let's talk about academic progress. Satisfactory progress will be based on a cumulative successful completion rate of 50%, 60%, or 67%, depending on credits attempted. For the purpose of calculating satisfactory academic progress, withdrawals, Ws, made within the refund period will count as a WD toward the calculation of progress. A grade of A, B, C, D, P, or MP the first time taking zero-level courses will be considered a successful completion. Let's talk about academic progress, completion rate. After attempting anywhere from 1 to 12 credit hours, your minimum required completion rate is 50% of your classes. With increased credit hours, the completion rate of classes passed also increases. From 13 to 18, your required completion rate is 60%. Credits 19 or above, your required completion rate is 67%. Now let's talk about your grade point average, or GPA. The minimum required GPA is determined by the number of credits attempted. Developmental courses, English 098, 099, FNMT 016, will not count towards GPA calculation. Withdrawals could count against your GPA, and incompletes do not count towards GPA. However, incompletes, if not satisfied, will become an F grade. Grades of A, B, C, D, F will count. Grade point average, or GPA. Your attempted credits have a GPA requirement. This is the minimum GPA at the attempted credit hours you can earn, but please aim much higher so that you can get a really good, solid GPA to help you through your semesters. Now, this chart explains everything. This chart below gives an excellent example of attempted credits, minimum GPA, and completion rate applied. And if you look, you'll see that the minimum GPA changes as your attempted credits increase. The completion rate applied also changes as your attempted credits increase. 50% from 1 to 12, 60% of the classes need to be passed between 13 and 17 credits. 18, 60% of the classes need to be passed, but the GPA requirement goes up a little. Once you pass to 19 on, not only does the minimum GPA go up, but then your attempted completion rate applied also goes up to 67%. 50% of the classes must be passed. Here, 60% of the classes must be passed. And here, 67% of the classes must be passed as your attempted credits increase. So let's do a visual. For 50% completion rate, let's look at student example 1. This student attempted during the summer of 2021 2 classes, 019 for 4 credits, History 103 for 3 credits. This gave the student attempted hours of 7. With 50%, the student needed to have passed 3.5 credits. Well, they did. They passed 4. What put the student on probation here was the withdrawal from the History 103, which gave them a 0 GPA. Once the student completed Math 123 and received a grade of B, with total attempted credits as 10, passed hours needed to be 5, and they succeeded, they passed 7, and now they have a GPA of a 3.0. So this semester, because of the one pass course, the student is now off of probation. Let's look at the next slide. So let's look at student example 2. This is the 60% completion rate. This student is assessed over 2 semesters, and they have attempted 13 credits. Once you attempt 13 credits, you are now assessed at the 60% completion rate, and your total number of passed credits should be 7.8. This student only has 4. While their GPA is a 4.0 from the A they received in Bio 109, they're still on academic probation because of the past credits. This is why it's important not to drop a lot of classes. It can get you in trouble and jeopardize your financial aid. Now let's look at student example 3. This is the third completion rate chart, 67%. By the time a student attempts 24 credits, they are now in the 67% completion rate and should have completed at least 16 credits. This student is fine. They've passed 18. This student is also good in the GPA area because it's a 3.0. But let's take a look at what may have been the saving grace for this student. Whenever you take a 0-level course for the first time and you receive a grade of MP, that will count in your attempted credits. If you withdraw from a 0-level class the first time you take it, that W will not count in your attempted credits, and it can throw you on probation. So it's very important. Whenever you take 0-level courses for the first time, don't stop attending. Don't stop. Hang in there, do your very best, because as long as you don't have a lot of absences and you're in contact with your professor and you're doing the best you can, an MP the first time will save you from going on academic probation. So hang in there. Full-time probation. Once a student is considered on full-time probation, you can only register for courses with a counselor. You cannot get any grade lower than a C in any course. While on full-time probation, you are allowed to take up to 13 credits. Withdrawal from any course will count against you, and failure to meet this criteria will result in part-time probation. At the end of any full-time academic probation term, you will be evaluated as follows. If you have met the required GPA and completion rate, 50%, 60%, or 67%, you are off probation. If you have not met the required GPA and completion rate, 50, 60, or 67%, but earned passing grades of A, B, C, P, or MP the first time in a 0-level course, you will remain on full-time probation. If you have not met the required GPA and completion rate and did not earn passing grades of A, B, C, P, or MP the first time in 0-level courses, you will be placed on part-time probation and allowed to take a maximum of 7 credits. Satisfactory academic progress, or SAP, requirements for students receiving financial aid. Academic probation affects your financial aid. Most students are given 1 semester of aid after being placed on probation to return to good standing. Failure to return to good standing can result in the loss of financial aid of any kind, including loans, and students may have to complete a SAP appeal and educational plan to stay in good financial standing. The following types of grades will count against you. F for failure, FS if you stop attending, incomplete if you need additional time to complete your work, unreported, withdrawal grades are counted as attempted credits. All attempted credits are counted, whether you receive financial aid for that semester or you pay out of pocket. Life happens. Hold on. Success is closer than you think. How do I clear my probation status? Should you study more, study differently, study in a different place, take advantage of study groups, or manage your time more efficiently? 2 hours of homework and studying for every 1 hour in class. So let's do the math. 12 credits equals 12 times 2. That's 24 hours of homework and studying, and the two are different. Plus the 12 hours you spend in class is a total of 36 hours per week you need to devote to college. That's a full-time job. Consider carefully where you study. Is it conducive to studying? Should you consider staying on campus to study? Do you keep a planner with all assignments and deadlines? Are you spending sufficient time preparing for classes and tests? And are you pursuing the right career path? Let's look at additional tips. You should meet with your counselor to consider whether you should retake a class to raise your GPA. Consider your course load carefully, balancing more difficult courses with less strenuous courses. Consider a lighter load. This may allow you the opportunity to concentrate on fewer classes. And please use websites like khanacademy.org to help you. Consider carefully and honestly what habits may have contributed to your current situation and what you can change. More tips. Take advantage of study skills, writing, or time management workshops. The counseling department offers workshops every semester. Check in with your counselor and instructors several times throughout the semester. Catching problems early can make a difference. And take advantage of tutoring, even for courses that seem to be easy. Extra support is always helpful. Academic probation is an uncomfortable situation, but it can be turned around if you see this as the warning it is intended to be. You will analyze what has created your difficulty. Accountability goes a long way. Cultivate your relationship with your assigned counselor and respect their recommendations. Don't miss any appointment times with your counselor. Make the changes necessary to determine a positive outcome. You will be so glad you did. Now let's get to work. And remember, your counselor is here to help you navigate successfully.